Hey there everybody, this is Caitlin here, and today we have another deck profile video for you today in regards to Force of Will. I know I said in a couple of my last videos that I was kind of trying to think of new ideas for decks and stuff, since, you know, we're still waiting on Battle for Ataratica, I can still never say that properly. We're still waiting for Biffa to come out, so I've been trying to think of different deck ideas, but then I remembered, why don't I just do a deck profile of a deck that you've kind of seen before, but maybe not look too in-depth at it, which is actually my boyfriend William's Dark Alice deck, which focuses on the lovely, annoying lady here. Now, I've played this deck countless times. It's William's main deck. He loves to use it mainly because he loves dark type decks. You know, his reasoning being that it reminds him of Dark Souls, and that's the reason why he loves to play dark in Force of Will. And he loves this deck mainly because it is so evil and I hate it, and it's so annoying. So he let me borrow it so I could do a profile of it. So obviously we have the girl in Twilight, Garb, who is the ruler. Her judgment is 0, and you play the ability only if you have removed 3 or more cards from the game. Is using this card's ability. And her ability obviously is that you can pay 1 dark, and you can remove a target card in your opponent's graveyard from the game. And then obviously you flip her over, and she becomes Dark Alice, Maiden of Slaughter, who I hate so much. I absolutely despise her. She has a target attack. She's a 9/9, and when she enters the field, you can choose a number and destroy all Resonators with the total number, with total equal to that number, which I believe affects both sides of the board. So it also harms him, but normally he only flips if he knows that he's not going to lose anything that he desperately needs, and you know, he usually only flips it if he knows he can clear my board, because sometimes, like say in my Sylvia deck, I have a lot of 3-drops, and you know, he can clear my 3-drops quite easily, which kind of sucks and everything. But you know, or if I'm running fairies, a lot of the fairies obviously have 1-drop, they will die instantly. Also, when you God's Art with her, which is Walpurgis Night, which is 2 dark, J/Resonators that your opponent controls gain minus 200/200. Then you search your deck for a card named Schrodinger, the Fallen Black Cat, and put it into your field. Then shuffle your main deck. You can only play it once per game. So that is a pretty annoying J ruler, who really, she's quite, I would say she's kind of gimmicky. Like, I wouldn't say that there's much mixing up you can do. Mainly you're probably just going to run dark with her. But this is what William has got going on with this build. So we have 4 of Jeanne d'Arc, the Shadow Princess of Purity. I don't know why it's Shadow Princess of Purity, because she looks pretty evil here. She is obviously a shadow, and when a Resonator is put into the graveyard from your opponent's field, you can rest a target Resonator your opponent controls. She's a 300/300. Pretty basic, you know. That ability has been quite annoying in past games that I've played with him. The next one that we have here is we have Dark Alice's Familiar, who's also 1-drop, 300/200 this time, Shadow/Bat. When this card enters your field, you reveal the top card of your main deck. If it's a Shadow Resonator, you can put it into your hand. This is also a good way for me to find out what he's got in his hand, well, a little bit, where if he reveals the top card, I get an idea of what he's going to draw next if it's not a Shadow. So I kind of have a little setup, knowing what he's going to draw into, at least if it doesn't reveal a shadow. And if it reveals a shadow, I'll just know what he's got. So there you go. Next we have another 4 of this 1-drop, which is Dark Alice's Shadow Warrior, who is 300/300. Pretty basic. He's got quite a few low cost drops here that back up his bigger drops. You can banish this card, and the target Resonator gains minus 200/200 until the end of the turn. Pretty simple stuff. A lot of this stuff is really self-explanatory. You can probably understand the reason why he runs them. Looking at his deck, actually, for some reason he is only running 1 Shadow Assassin. I don't know whether that's a mistake and maybe he's lost a couple of cards or something like that. I'm looking over the deck right now, the cards that are distributed here. I don't know whether he's literally just running this at 1, or maybe he's forgot to put in other copies of it. But until I discuss with him about that, I guess we'll just say that he's running this at 1, which is a 2-drop, 100/500. When this card deals damage to Resonator, destroy that Resonator. So yeah, pretty simple. 500 defense, 100 attack. I assume he's maybe going to run more of it. I don't know. It's a little bit odd how there's only 1 in there, but maybe he literally just forgot to stick them in his deck box when he gave it to me. One of the biggest players in his deck is this, which is Dark Faria, the Princess of Ebony, who I hate her in this build. I hate her so much. She's a 2 cost, she's 500/500. Her awakening is too dark. When she enters the field, you destroy a target resonator. Other shadow resonators gain plus 200/200, and when this card deals damage, you gain that much life, which is so annoying. So annoying. So basically she buffs up other shadows, and if, like, say he drops another one, then she gets a buff as well, because she's also technically a shadow, which is so annoying. Can you see a running trend with this? A running trend of, like, cards that annoy me so much in this deck. The next one that we have is a 3-drop of Dark Arla. I actually suggested that he put this in mainly to deal with flyers, because a couple of my decks, specifically me, I know, like, because he plays me often or whatever, like, that's how we practice for tournaments. I often maybe have at least one flyer in a deck, so he included this to kind of counter that. You can pay 1 dark and 1 void, and this card deals 600 damage to a target resonator with flying, and a Dark Arla here is 700/500 for a 3 cost. And he's running 3 of those. Moving into the bigger drops, we're running, I think, are we? Yes, apparently so. We're running 2 Shadow Doppelganger. I feel like he normally ran 4, but I might be wrong and he doesn't. I feel like he ran 4, but maybe I'm just losing my mind here, trying to remember what he actually plays. Shadow Doppelganger, it costs 4. As this card enters your field, you may remove a resonator in your graveyard from the game. If you do, this card enters your field as a copy of that card removed this way. So basically, he uses this in order to gain, like, say I managed to kill all his Farias, and there was no way he could get his Farias back. Normally, he would use this card to, remove the Faria that he can't get back, and, play this as a Faria. Or he would maybe use it for, I'm guessing, his Dark Arthur as well, which we'll be getting up to next. So basically, he is paying 4 to get a Dark Faria back. I'm not too sure whether... I mean, we've had this discussion before when we've played games, whatever, with whether if we say we used Faria as Shadow Doppelganger, if we say paid another extra 2, so if William paid 6, would he then be able to copy Faria's awakening ability, or would Shadow Doppelganger not get that because it technically didn't enter the field as Faria? It entered as Shadow Doppelganger and then became Faria. I'm not quite sure how the kind of the turn would go that way. I'm not sure. We still need to confirm that, actually, whether awakening still affect. I know, like, some enter abilities do if they don't have awakening, but we need to double check with that. And the last kind of resonator that he's got in here is he has 2 of the Dark Arthurs. The Arthur, Dead Lord of Vengeance. This guy is so annoying. It's 1,000/1,000. It's a 4 cost. Other Darkness Resonators gain plus 200/200. Non-Darkness Resonators gain minus 200/200. And you remove 3 Resonators in your graveyard from the game, and you can put this card from your graveyard back into your hand, which is so annoying. Sometimes, if he's playing my Valentina, well, not my Valentina, my Shion deck, I will usually choose to steal him if I'm using Valentina or whatever, mainly to try and destroy it in some way if I can, like try and get him to target it so it can die of his own accord or whatever. But yeah, when he gets this out, it's really annoying because it just punishes everything I have on the field. Going into Regalia, he's only running 4 in this current build, although sometimes he sideboards Death Scythe. It really just depends on the matchup. I don't have the Death Scythe with me because he didn't give it to me, but sometimes he sideboards in Death Scythe, mainly to deal with guys that get swiftness and imperishable, mainly like if he's playing me against my Sylvia. But he has 4 Schrodinger, which are kind of standard if you're playing Dark Alice, because, Schrodinger is very good. As long as there are 5 or more cards in your opponent's removed area, your Javelin gains 500/500. And as long as there are more cards in your opponent's removed area, your Javelin... as long as there are 10 in your removed area, your Jailer gains swiftness and target attack. And when the Schrodinger gets out, it can produce colour at any will when it taps, and you can banish it, and your Jailer gains imperishable until the end of the turn. So basically, he has like 4 chances to get extra will. Even if he God's Arc, that's like literally an extra magic stone. And he could just literally just pull them and play them if he so choose. He's done that countless times before, and it's like quite annoying knowing that he's found a way to mana ramp. Going on to spells now, we're running 4 Unseen Pressure, which is a 1-drop, a really annoying 1-drop that destroys a target resonator with 400 or less attack, which is really annoying if like I'm trying to set up early game or whatever, and like obviously my stuff is like low attack or whatever, because you know I'm only going 1 drops, maybe 2 drops, and you know he destroys it outright, which is, you know, it also is very harmful to fairies, because most fairies have like 200 and don't really have anything to counter that, but you know, it's a really annoying card. That's why he's probably running 4 of it. Next we have 3 of the Black Ribbon, which is actually an addition, technically not a spell, but you know, it's a 1 drop. It's added Resonator gains minus 200, and you banish this card, and the target Resonator gains minus 400 until the end of the turn. So yeah, this is also a rather annoying card. I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to think about, like, because we were discussing, would the minus 200 stack on top of a minus 400 if, say, he banished it? I would say that it didn't, because obviously it's no longer attached to the Resonator, but still need to get that confirmed. There's a couple of things in this deck which really sometimes don't make a lot of sense. I guess it's just the way it's worded, but some things are just a little bit odd in this game. Like the way that the text is framed is just like a little bit ambiguous. Next we have Recollection of Dystopia, which he's running at 3, and it's 2 cost, and your opponent banishes a Resonator. As long as your J-Ruler is Dark Alice, Maiden of Slaughter, you can pay minus 2 Dark to play the God's Art. So basically, if he plays it that turn, then he doesn't need to pay for his God's Art, which is pretty annoying, and he gets to destroy one of my Resonators, which sucks. He is also running to a Barrier of Shadows. Mainly, he runs this against decks because of Regalia. Regalia can be annoying, especially when it's with Shadow, because Shadow is pretty dependent on her Regalia to, you know, to cycle through the deck. And, you know, the other ones like Valentina 2.0 is pretty, I think she's Regalia heavy as well. And stuff like Arla with bows and things like that. So he has this in there, and also it affects like judgments and God's Arts as well. So you need to like bear that in mind as well. And the last spell, which is basically the center, well, no, I wouldn't say centerpiece, but it's like the crowning glory in all of this, is obviously Dark Alice's Scorn, which, you know, is pretty, it's a 1 drop. You know, look at your target opponent's hand and choose a Resonator. They discard that card. He gets to look at my hand, he sees what Resonators I have, what spells I have, blah blah blah, and then he gets to choose one to destroy and send to the graveyard, which makes me very sad, obviously, especially if like he picks Cheshire Cat, because then I can't like shuffle it into the deck or whatever, because it didn't go from the field to the graveyard, it came from my hand, which is pretty annoying. And his stone deck is actually pretty basic as well. By the looks of it, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Darkness Magic Stones. A couple of them are different arts or whatever, because we were sharing Magic Stones and stuff, so a couple of them are a little bit mixed arts. And then he's also got 4 of the kind of Shadows Memoria, which is like Dark Alice's special Memoria. It's if your J-Ruler isn't the girl in Twilight Garb or Dark Alice Maiden of Slaughter, this card enters your Magic Stone area vested. So really, you wouldn't run this if Dark Alice wasn't your ruler. I really don't understand why anyone would, because obviously it's meant for her. You can tap it and produce Dark, and whenever a Shadow Resonator enters your field, you can target Resonator gains minus 100 attack until end of turn. Which I don't think really matters much, unless he's going to use Unseen Pressure. That's usually when that kind of spell would come in, that kind of effect would come in handy. So, all in all, guys, that was this Dark Alice deck, which belongs to William. It's his favourite deck so far. We're thinking of maybe building him Machina when the new machine stuff comes out for the new set. We don't know whether we're going to go with the water Machina, the newer one, or we're going to use the older one and incorporate some of the newer machines and stuff. We're not too sure yet. We're going to look, because he likes machines as well as kind of darkness stuff, so we're going to see what we're going to do with that. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this deck. Any deck changes you think that William should make to try and boost up. He has had like a fairly okay win ratio with it, although he didn't do too well to mirror match with Dark Alice, which was a little bit awkward. But until next time, guys, I will see you all later.